welcome to the Davis at Home. So today you're not gonna get to have the pleasure of seeing my beautiful wife's face. It's gonna be me instead. This is our Vivint smart home review. We may do this in two parts so that it doesn't get too long, but this is a video that when we did our empty house tour, we kind of asked the question that, one of the things we were doing on day one was going to install a Vivint smart home system, security system. So we said, if anyone needs a review or anything like that, that we'll be more than happy to do that for you. And the reason why I offered that is because when I was doing my own research, there wasn't really much like real homeowner reviews on the Vivint smart home system. It was more like the tech people that just review a whole bunch of products. So that was why we kind of put that offer out there. But we're also, in this video, we're going to talk about some of the smart home systems that we've put in place and automation and stuff like in the beginning stages. So if that's something that you're interested in, then stay tuned in this video. Even if you're not interested, just watch it anyway so we can get the view.
It's so fun. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so to start this video off, I'll say why we ended up choosing the Vivint smart home system. So when we were in the process of building our house and everything, our new construction home, and if you have not caught up with all of our journey with the process of our new construction home, please check out our playlist that we put for you. We'll put the link in the description below where you can watch all the videos to catch up. But something that was very important to me was to make sure that there was a security system. We had it in our previous house. I even considered doing it in the temporary apartment that we were in, but then my wife said, absolutely not. We are not wasting money on doing a security system there. But it is something very important to me. So I was researching through and I kind of had a checklist of things that I wanted, like, indoor cameras, outdoor cameras. And then one of the major things was that I really wanted a system that has smart home features. In terms of, I can integrate with, devices like Alexa or like the Google Home or something like that. So that was something that was very important. Now, one thing I will say is that there is a big price difference that I found between like Vivint and some of the other security system companies. Like Vivint is not cheap, like they are expensive. But again, for someone like me that works in the tech field, I appreciate the technology, so I'm willing to pay the money for it. But I did find that when I was setting up the utilities for this new house, I called the utility company and they actually said they had some affiliation with some company where they can give you all these different deals when you're opening up a new account. And one of those was ADT to get a new security system. And needless to say, what they offered was like near enough the same amount of cameras and then the hub and everything, but it was like for like half the price of what Vivint was actually charging.
But wait, how much exactly is this Vivint thing?
Let's not let's just stick to the video. Forget about that. But so enough kind of talking about why I chose Vivint. I know you're all here to see exactly how the system works and stuff. So we're gonna start off here with the hub. So with the hub, all this stuff with Vivint, it gets professionally installed by a Vivint technician. And the great thing that I loved is that my technician was actually from England. So when he called me to say that he was on his way, we both at the same time said, hold on a second, you're British. So we had, a great time, like whilst he was here and everything. But, he was a pleasure. It took like maybe about 4 or 5 hours. But they do the professional installation. They ask you like, where do you want your hub to be positioned? And as you can see here, there's this is plugged in down to the bottom here, but there's no wires because they break the hole into the drywall, and then they make sure they patch it up, and then they have the wires hidden and everything. So they install the hub for you. They put all the door sensors, window sensors, glass break sensors, carbon monoxide and fire detectors, whatever it is that you chose. Outdoor cameras, indoor cameras, they install everything for you. So it's like a white glove service, as they call it. But this here is like the brains of the operation. This is where, you can control everything with the Vivint system. And then when you start to integrate all your smart home features and appliances, well, not appliances, but your smart home devices, that's where you can control it from here. Just to show you like some of the features that we've got integrated in here. So like this first option, this is obviously showing, the main home screen. Now, one of the cool things that I really like, and I hope and pray that my wife utilizes this, is that this button here tells you the weather. Now, one thing with Mrs. Davis here is that she will never check the weather. And it may be like 35 degrees outside and she's making the kids wear just a jumper or a sweater, as they say here in America. And then I'll say, well, did you check the weather? And she'll say no.
To him, 55 degrees is cold outside.
That is coat weather.
Okay.
Coat weather. So that's where I've showed her and said, look, at least you can just come to the Vivint hub and you can just press the weather option, which is right here, and it will let you know what the weather is right now, what the temperature is right now. So that's a really cool feature there. The other thing we've got here is, if you can see here, we've got the front door lock. So this is where we can control the door locks. We have a smart lock that uses Z-Wave protocol to communicate with this hub. And one thing I really enjoy here is that if somebody comes up to the doorbell, before they've actually rung the doorbell, they are going to pop up on the screen here. And then when they do ring the doorbell, you will have the option to unlock the door for them. And then you also have the option to talk through the microphone to them. The reason why I really like this is especially for when you have kids, especially kids that they don't have cell phone and stuff like that to get notifications. They will be able to walk up here and see who's at the door. And just to demonstrate with the door, we should be able to hear it from here. But if I just go ahead and slide this over to unlock, you can hear that it's unlocked. Then I slide it back to lock it, and it's locked. So the other feature here is that we have this integrated with our Nest thermostat. Now the Nest came standard with the home through the builder, and we've integrated it into the Vivint smart home system. So we can control, the thermostat from here. So this is what we've named it, where we have the kitchen thermostat and then the other one that's in the master bedroom. So this shows the current temperature where it's at. If we click on this one, we can, increase temperature or decrease it. You can also just slide it up and down. And then, you can also change if you want it to heat, cool, and so on. And then the same with the master bedroom, that you can do the same thing. The next thing along here is the cameras. So this is where you can see the different cameras that we've got in the home. If I click onto it, it loads very quickly. So this is the indoor camera right now. So this is pointing in the loft. And the thing that I really like with the indoor camera is it's like a plug and play. So, today we can have it in the loft. Tomorrow we can bring it downstairs and put it somewhere else. The next day we can put it somewhere else. And it's just literally, you just plug and play. It does come with a mount where you can mount it somewhere. But for now, we just have it, as a stand. And I mean, the picture quality is very good. Like it's HD quality. And then you can have the sound on there to show the sound. And as I said, you have the options to unlock the door or to speak through the microphone. Okay, so then what we're moving to next is not everyone would see this feature if you've newly installed Vivint. This actual option here is for if you have any other devices such as smart switches. So this is something that I actually installed myself. I installed these GE smart switches, and I have integrated them into the Vivint smart home system where I can control the lights from here. So this is just kind of the beginning stages of what I'm trying to do with my smart home features. So like this is where I have the backyard lights, front garage lights, and then the porch lights. So where if I just slide this over, it's gonna turn on the porch lights. With this is just the beginning stages. I kind of just said, I'll just start off with the outside lights before I move on to the indoor lights. But this is a really cool feature that I like as well. Next thing here, this is, for your panic buttons. This is typical stuff. You press and hold for 2 seconds. This will sound off the alarm. This would be for emergency services, that it will directly call emergency services for you, and then for fire. And then this button here is just for like your settings and all that stuff. So something I also want to mention is another thing that I really like with Vivint, which also made me want to choose them, is with their indoor cameras, they have what they call a ping camera. And with that indoor camera, there is a button on the top of the camera where your kids or whoever's at your house can push that button, and it will actually do a video call to your cell phone, where you can see them. They would not be able to see you, but you can see them in that video call, and have two-way talk. They can hear you, you can hear them, and you can have a discussion. So that's a good feature, especially for like families that maybe their kids are old enough to stay at home alone, but then you feel like they're not old enough to actually have their own cell phone. So that's also a good feature that I feel like they offer. Okay, so now we're gonna move over to the app. So with the app, the Vivint app, you pretty much have all the same features that you have on the hub. So where you have the same with the thermostat, you have the cameras and everything. You've got the lights, and then the other thing that you have here is where you have the activities. So this is where you can see all the activities of what's happened, like how many times the garage door is open, how many times it's closed, if a person was detected at some point in the day, so like you can see those detection here. And then you also have the option of custom actions. This is where you can get into the automations, where like you can set that automatically every night at 10 p.m. your system's gonna arm to stay. One of the automations I've done is after I installed my smart lights, I put in automation that every day at 7 p.m. it's gonna turn on the porch, all of the lights outside. And then at 7:45 a.m. it will turn all of the lights off. But then I've also put another rule where if in between that time before it automatically comes on, I want just the porch lights to come on if it detects someone walk up to the doorbell. So this is something where it's pretty easy to set up these rules and automations, but if you do the plus sign, like there's various things that you can do here. And then you can also set notifications on like which things you want to be notified by, what you don't want to be notified by, and so on. So the last things that I want to mention that I really like about the Vivint smart home security system is their cameras. Their outdoor camera pro, and then also the doorbell camera. These are the things that really sold me on using this. I don't know if you've seen the commercials or not, but they have this smart sensory mode where it has a whistle as a deterrent when like someone is coming close to your home within a certain proximity. And this is something where you can set out in the app like a kind of a border area of where you want to be receive your notifications and where you want it to kind of monitor around that area. And if someone comes in that area for a certain period of time, you can set it from 1 second all the way up to like 90 seconds. If they're there lingering around, it's going to whistle at them to indicate to them that, hey, you know, someone is recording you. The thing I love with the doorbell is the doorbell actually has an option where it whistles and then it actually tells them camera's recording. Now, obviously, this is not gonna deter everybody. You know, you're gonna get those hardcore burglars that they don't care. But I would say at least like 90% of the people, it's gonna make them deter. And you can also search on YouTube. Vivint, they have on their Vivint channel where they actually show real homeowner footage of how their deter features work, where it whistles to deter people away. And they are, I believe, the only security company that has this type of innovative idea to actually have this deterrent feature. So that is the last thing that I like. Now, so what I don't like is their pricing is very confusing. Like you will think they'll tell you one price, but then you talk to somebody else and it's a different price. Then you talk to someone else and it's a different price. Like it's just so super confusing. So if Vivint is a company that you are interested in going with, just make sure that you fully understand the pricing, what you're gonna pay. Keep trying to, you know, get them to give you a good deal to see if you can lower the price any way you can or something like that. And then if you are like me and you do not want to get into a contract, make sure you make it very, very clear you do not want a contract. Because something that happened to me is that the salesperson, to bring my price down, he actually put in the old outdoor cameras. So these old outdoor cameras are not the ones that is advertised where it whistles and all that stuff. These old cameras, they detect everything. Like if the wind blows, you receive a notification. If a bug flies past the camera, you receive a notification. If a car headlights touch the camera, you receive it. So that was when I was thinking like, this is not as advertised. This is when I called them and I said, you know, the notifications that I'm getting is like really irritating me. And it like, I thought that these things were smarter than this. Like they're supposed to have facial recognition and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of artificial intelligence. That was when I came to find out that in order to lower my price down, when I kept trying to barter the price down, the guy actually put in the old cameras. So anyway, what they did is they said, oh, we're going to transfer you to loyalty. Because at this point, I've had the system for like 2 days. So they don't want to lose me as a customer. So they put me through to loyalty. And in the nicest way possible, I felt like the person didn't really know what they were doing. And I've kind of had that experience with quite a few of the Vivint people, customer service people, that it seems like they don't really know what they're talking about so much.
Or how to resolve a problem quickly.
Yeah, or how to resolve a problem quickly. And they kind of, instead of resolving the problem, they add another problem on top of it and then add another problem on top of it. So I do know that Vivint is a fairly young company compared to other security companies, and their customer service has been known to not be so good, but they have made some improvements. So I believe there is still more area for improvement. But anyway, what ended up happening is the person put me into another account and put me into a 4-year contract. When I specifically told them I don't want no contract. So long story short, this is like weeks of talking to them on the phone, them saying that they fixed it and they've sorted out the account, and then it ends up that it wasn't done. I finally got through to someone that actually knew what they were talking about. They said that there was a whole mess that was created. I had like 3 or 4 accounts, different accounts. 2 of them was under contract. The other 2 or other 1 was not a contract. So that's something that really irritated me. Like, for the most part, with an alarm system company, you shouldn't really need to be calling their customer service for the most part.
Right.
But it's like when you do call, just be warned with Vivint. It may just be my experience, but I'm being honest that their customer service was not very good. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say the customer service was not good. They were very friendly. Everyone was nice. They were friendly, but it's like in terms of making me call one time and solving my problem, that one call, they didn't do it. I had to call like 10 times, 15 times before eventually my problem was solved.
And then tell them about the front door situation.
So even that with the front door, it was with the doorbell. And this goes to, again, that I feel like some of the people, they don't really know how the system works very well. So something happened where the doorbell, after about 4 hours of it being installed, it went offline. And when I called the help desk for Vivint, the person didn't really sound confident in the instructions they were giving me, but they basically walked me through eventually, like over an hour of being on the phone with them, they walked me through basically removing the camera off of the hub, like deleting it. So anyway, what eventually happened, it would never reboot back onto the hub. It never came back. So they ended up having to send a technician out. And now the technicians, the Vivint technicians, now they're like A1. Like, they know everything about the system. They know how everything works. They can explain it to you down to a T. And that's where the guy said to me that, they should never have made me delete the Ring doorbell off. He said that what actually happens is after a few hours of it being installed, it goes through an update. And he said that update can take maybe a few minutes to an hour or so. So he said that basically eventually it would have come back online. So just an advice tip that if you do get a Vivint smart home and then you have a doorbell and after a few hours it goes offline, just leave it because it's going through an update. Don't call them because it may be a headache. The other thing I will say is, as with technology, sometimes technology doesn't always work. I know when I did research on Vivint, a lot of people said that it doesn't work. I would say 8 or 9 times out of 10, all of my automations and stuff work. There is a couple of times where, like, my lights are supposed to turn on at a certain time, they don't turn on. But then the next day it works for, the whole week moving forward. Or I've seen where the doors that's supposed to automatically lock, they didn't lock. Or when the alarm system was automatically set to stay, it didn't do it. So those little things, and this is not something that happens all the time, but it happens sometimes. And I think it may be something where there's some kind of network interference, where maybe it could be a number of things happening at the same time that particular action is skipped. I don't know. All right, well, we didn't want this video to be too long, so what we're gonna do is do a part 2 for this. In part 2, we're gonna talk about more of the features that we've done to make this more into a smart home. We're still in the beginning stages. We've not done everything that we want to do yet, or at least what I want to do yet. But we're gonna talk about some of those things, demonstrate how we've made this more into a smart home. If you do have any questions, about the Vivint smart home system or anything, just drop them in the comments, and then we can probably answer those questions in our part 2 video, which will be next week. Please like, share, and subscribe. See, I said it. So like, share, and subscribe. I believe we are almost at 1,000 subscribers, so help us to get to that 1,000 subscribers, because I know my wife will be very, very happy.